We are getting old.
My dream is to be a pilot. I want to be an architect.
Geologist.
You and I are growing further. You don't really talk to me.
Hey everyone, and welcome. We're here with episode 2 of the One Degree Alumni Podcast, and for this episode, I'm here with Elliot. So, hey Elliot, how are you doing?
Hi Roger, how are you?
Good. So good to see you, and really looking forward to having a chat with you today, and getting to what you're up to now and what you have been up to and everything. But let's just dive straight in. Tell us about when you were actually on One Degree all those years ago, when it was, and sort of what that time of your life was like.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. It feels like years and years and years, so many memories from One Degree. So my name's Elliot. I was from the One Degree program 2016-2017. So One Degree really helped me with maths and English, probably most English, because I've never been a really mathematical person, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, it was, I don't know, at the beginning when I was introduced to the program, I didn't know, because I was like, it's going to take a lot of my time. And, I was already, starting making music and, starting to, get into the music industry world. So I didn't know, but I talked about it with my parents and I was like, that could be nice, that could be a good opportunity. And so I decided to do it, and it went really well. And I was very happy with the results as well, all the opportunities, and to be able to meet, you, Roger, and all the other people, working there. So that was a really good experience, definitely.
No, such a nice intro. Thanks so much. So to give everyone a bit of context, Elliot was part of a cohort of students that joined us on One Degree in 2016-2017, and he was from Westminster Academy at that point. And I can remember that period so well, and that program so well. Such a great group of young people, and I can remember Elliot so well as well. And I wonder if you could tell me a little bit, Elliot, when you mentioned sort of a bit hesitant, sort of going in and stuff like that. Once you sort of got into it in the first few sessions, did you feel like you were getting some immediate rewards from being there, or did it take a bit longer to kind of warm up to the program?
I think it took some time for me to adapt myself and to really get comfortable, because I used to be very shy, and if I didn't know the person, I would be really hesitating, to go towards that person or to ask questions, or so it took a bit of time, but I felt very like part of almost like a family, what became sort of my second family, so in a way. So definitely it took some time, but the fact that everyone was very like getting interested by you, asking you questions, and not just okay, let's focus on maths and English and that's it, blah blah, that could be you're doing at school, hello, okay, bye, okay, homework for tomorrow, bye. That was very different. It didn't feel like going to school. It almost felt like you were going on a program, but in a different way than school. So that was very nice.
Nice. And I mean, you mentioned like, sort of getting to know some people as you were there, and it wasn't just all about English and maths. Did you feel like while you were sort of in the midst of the program, it was helping you with a lot of other things other than English and maths? Could you feel like you were starting to get little pieces of information and advice on general life skills as well?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I think maths was always complicated for me, so so it was a bit more complicated than other subjects. But English definitely, because English is it can be very creative. I'm a very creative person, so English, I love doing that. Like physical activity, I used to do 9 years of athletics when I was younger, so it was always nice to have like a physical sort of thing in the middle. And yeah, I think it really helped me a lot, being a bit more comfortable with myself, trying to I don't know, ask more questions maybe. And I think that was mainly the main part of, how it helped me. And the fact, that, people were getting interested about what I was doing on the side of school, which was like studying music. And so that was very nice also.
And I mean, was the commitment quite tough? Did you find it quite tricky to have to give up your weekends and I suppose in particular your Saturdays?
Yeah, I mean, definitely at the beginning, because I was, because I love sleeping, like I'm sure a lot of people like to do in the weekends. But again, after a few, Saturdays and, going into the program, then, building that sort of like friendship and being like, oh, I'm going to see this, this person, it's going to be fun. And so I would wake up, every Saturday morning and like, let's go, let's do it. So at the end, not really.
And I mean, you mentioned your music as well. Now, just to give everyone a little bit more context, the music in the background that you would have heard at the start of this is Eliot's music. So he's obviously really progressed so amazingly well with some of his music right now. And I wonder if you could tell us, where did the passion for music all start, and when did you start making your own music? Was it back then, or has that only been a recent thing?
Well, I'm gonna try and not go into too much details because it would be a long story. But no. So basically, I started making music. I mean, I first started DJing when I was about 13 years old. That was after going to see David Guetta playing live in France, and I was like, Dad, I want to do that. So I got my first controller when I was not even 13 actually. And so the first DJ set I did and practiced was during New Year's Eve. And we invited some friends, and I did this, I did that, and I had a few like feedbacks. Oh, that's really good. You should keep going. So that really sort of like motivated me in a way. So I kept doing that for a few years until I got to London, and then I think about 2016 I got a bit bored of that. So I was like, why would I not start making my music? So I would experiment on how to make music, playing with samples. So it was a bit messy at the beginning because you're trying to to learn and everything. So I really started making music when I was like in 2017. So that's how I started, and a lot of things happened, ever since then. So
a little bit of interest just before One Degree. So you had that interest going through One Degree, and then only once you finished One Degree did you really start to explore it as a I suppose a possible career. Hey.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I always had maybe this like on the side of my head, but I wasn't sure because I didn't have any level, or I didn't. But I just went for it, and one thing I was very happy, is my parents were being very supportive. If you want to do this, just go for it. We'll be behind you, we'll support you, but do it, 100%. So, and I guess it's not everyone, who's got like a passion at this, young age, and who just like pursue it, until they get somewhere. Because it's a very hard, job. It's different. Yeah, it's very, very competitive as well. So I'm still, like a young producer. I'm not really, at top level, but, it's going all right.
I definitely recommend everyone go and check out Confluence on Spotify and wherever you find your music. I absolutely love what you've created and your stuff, and for everyone's reference as well, listening in, whenever we're doing some kind of event or I need some music, Elliot's always my first port of call. I always do get such a tip to try and see if I can use some of his music, which is amazing and suits so many circumstances. It's really, really incredible. So if you enjoyed the music at the start of this podcast, go and check out some more of his stuff. It's really great. So let's just jump back to sort of finishing up One Degree and diving into exams. You've been through, several weeks of One Degree and you're approaching exam time. Did you feel a bit more confident at that point going into exams than you maybe would have been, without One Degree?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. No hesitation on that. I think it got me more confident, also to learn like two very important subjects, when it comes to passing, GCSE, maths and English. And being part of the program again, didn't feel like just like studying and being boring or whatever. It was very fun. So you would learn, something like I didn't like maths, so you would learn, like a, boring, subject, but in a fun way. So it would be totally different environment as well. So that really helped. But for sure, at the same time, I was, very, very stressed, because I hate exams, yeah, I mean, at the end, it was rewarding in a way because, I got my English, not maths, ouch. But I didn't, limited me like to, just like go and study music, 100%. And so, yeah, definitely helped.
And we put you on the spot now. Can you, other than English and maths and stuff like that, can you remember any other little, snippets of information or words of wisdom? We always spoke about 21st century skills, during our programs. Can you remember any other little bits that might have stuck in your head from some of the external stuff we spoke about?
As in, like, can you give me a bit more example?
Yeah,
like
any of the other sort of skills that we sort of would always focus on. And I'm really putting you on the spot now to see how much you remember all those years ago. We always used to speak about collaboration and communication and creativity and critical thinking and all of that kind of stuff, or meeting someone for the first time and sort of making that first impression and all that kind of stuff. And is there anything that sort of sticks in your mind from any of those?
I think communication definitely, and being a team player. I think that team player is definitely something that sticks to my mind even now today. So yeah, that really. These are probably the two words that I remember that I use constantly now.
So useful.
Yeah.
I mean, the world could use so much more insight into communication, and it was so useful if that was sort of done more.
It's just it's just really important, especially with what I do as well. If I want to get a gig or if I want to get someone to collaborate with, you're not gonna have anyone if you just like sit there and wait for someone to to contact you. So you have to go for it. Don't be scared. The worst that could happen to you is like, thank you, but no. Well, at least it's fair, and next. But it definitely helps you in life and to grow up as well in a way.
Yeah, no, definitely. And what about mentors? Can you remember any mentors from back in the day, or any that you still keep in contact with now, or anything like that?
Absolutely. Yeah, Flo, definitely. I'm probably gonna see him in Paris, I think, when I go back for the Fête de la Musique for the 21st of June, because he's a DJing now, so more and more, got more experience as well. I do, forgive me for whoever is listening to the podcast, and if I don't mention their names, but yeah, definitely Jabba, Jasmine. They came to my last show in London in Cyberdog, actually. So that was very, very cool to see them, very surprised. That was very fun. Yeah, Joseph. Yeah, such a fun guy. Yeah, I'm sure there were other people, but I, didn't really seen them, ever since. Probably Ben. I think he was from Australia.
Yeah.
Well, Roger, of course. I think that's there was Hope, I think, but I don't know what is she becoming. So, but yeah, I'm sure there are many people who I forgot their names, but I do remember some. But yeah,
amazing, yeah. Cool. And then sort of since One Degree, you finished up that and finished up your exams. Talk a little bit about that period of your life, from the end of One Degree to where you are right now, and what you've been up to and what that journey's been like.
So after One Degree and after Westminster Academy, of course I had to look for further education. So I went to City of Westminster College, which is very close to Westminster Academy. It was very funny because when I applied, I didn't have yet the GCSE results. And so I saw my GCSE results. I was like, oh, that's very nice. That's very nice. And fun fact, I look at the paper and then I see a D in music. I was like, D, there's A, B, C, and D. I didn't pass music. And so the music teacher comes in like, what's wrong? Oh, I got a D. Like, no, that's amazing. That's distinction. I was like, great. So I was very happy. So after we we go to City of Westminster College, and we all the grades and everything. So I go there for 2 years where I studied music composition and production for 2 years. So to really try to enhance my comprehension of how to make music and really get to the next level. So that was very fun as well. And then after that, I went to Point Blank Music School. It's the number one DJ and electronic music school in the world. There's like a few around the world, one in London. So I was very, very happy to be part of this, and really learned a lot as well. Got a lot of opportunities as well. Met a lot of people who became my friends and who are now absolutely killing it right now in the music industry, some of them. So it's very nice, and also to be able to keep in touch with them, to being able to sending tracks or to ask for feedbacks, even though they're busy and stuff. It's always nice to try to be surrounded with people like that, and to always be supportive as well.
It's such an incredible journey already, and there's so much you've done. So I suppose it's been what, 8 years since One Degree, and you've achieved so much already, isn't it? Is that no, more than that. It's been 9 years.
Probably. Yeah, I don't know. It's been too long.
That's incredible, man. So amazing. Now, so you've brought us up to the present point. What are you up to right now, and what are some of the plans and ideas for the future?
So right now I'm trying to look for some gigs to play. It's very hard because it's like summer, so everyone's got their acts already. But I'm still trying to find some places to play. It's very hard, but I'm a persistent person, so until I get something, I won't stop. And I'm working on my album as well. So that's I don't know when it's going to come out, because I keep making new tracks, and it's definitely the biggest project I've ever done, even though I'm not signed to any record labels yet. It's very personal, so I'd like to really do everything on my own. So it takes time, needs some money as well on the side, so it's going to take some time to build everything with that, but it's coming along together quite well, so I can't wait to share it, and hopefully people like it. It's people might listen to electronic music, but there's different style of electronic in the album, so some people might like it or might not, I don't know, but very looking forward for that.
Well, you're being very modest. Your music's amazing, and your journey and everything you've achieved so far has been incredible.
Thank you.
Just so many little bits of things in such a hard industry, as you said, and it is tough, and you've achieved so much already. Obviously it's impossible to list all the sort of music that you've created and done, from when you started to now, but how many tracks roughly would you say have you actually released and is sort of available to the public at this point?
So first track was released in 2019, and the last track I published was in May. So I think probably 18 or 20 already that are on Spotify and other music platforms. I have also some remixes from songs like Oppenheimer or Medici that are on SoundCloud and YouTube, because it's easier to put these tracks without getting a copyright infringement, but it depends on the algorithm. It's a bit annoying sometimes, but I released a lot of projects. I've done a lot of projects now as well that are waiting to be released. Upcoming track is coming on the 20th this month, so I'm very looking forward for that. But there's probably maybe 40 tracks which I made which probably won't see the light, just because my style and music evolved a lot and changed. So maybe one day, who knows.
What's your biggest influence, or what would you say if you were to describe your music to someone, you would say it's most like which artist?
It's a very hard question. Before it used to be very Avicii or very mainstream.
Thought you were going to say
now I'm more into I don't know if people would know about these artists, but definitely have a look, 'cause it's very interesting. There's artists like Ben Boomer, There's Lane 8. It's very melodic, but there's other music that inspire me a lot from like Arbat, for example, Endheim, Tin Lika. These artists that are very independent, and that most of the artists that I listen to right now, I discovered them through like record labels like Deep, which is still one of my favorite labels, which is my dream label, to get signed to, one day. So I'm in pursuit of that. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
What was the name of that label, did you say?
Deep. It's a London-based independent record label. So it's like melodic, deep house, progressive, and like the big label on top of them is Beat, which is more like progressive house, trance. They've been in the business for almost 30 years now. So yeah, big label.
And so if anyone's listening out there who's got contacts with those guys, then you've got to get in touch with us.
Please do. I'll be very happy. But yeah, I mean, my music, if I was to define my music, I think it will be very cinematic, because more and more I'm into like, music for films. So I really like cinematic music, and very electronic, but it always depends, because I never, make the same sort of vibe. It can go from techno or to house or to cinematic. It always goes up and down. And I started another project, a side project called Consequence, which is a very underground sort of artist but which is making like more like hard techno, which acid, which is a bit crazy, because when you see me and you listen to my music, you're like, oh, this guy's nice. But if you listen to Consequence, it's very different. So yeah.
Well, that's amazing that you can explore both those avenues at the same time, and they can be so different. And I think now hearing you describe all of that and the journey and everything, it makes sense why I do enjoy your music so much, because I love music by like Hans Zimmer and the kind of the film sort of soundtracks, and I can see why it's got that similar feel to you. It is very you can imagine it being on films. You really can. It's
absolutely, yeah. That will definitely be that's on my bucket list. Absolutely, to be able to achieve this one day. But it can be also very, very tricky to get somewhere with so many different styles. Because ideally, if you want to get signed with a label, or if you want to produce yourself on the stage or to a gig, or how you would present yourself as an artist, it's very hard, because if you have different styles, and people wouldn't be able to say, okay, he does this, but he does that, how's to. But I don't really feel like doing just one genre, because I feel limited, and I'm not that kind of person. I need to make different things. If I have different ideas, then I would go for different ideas, and but I can I can make different styles, and I think this is something that is important for me. And
of course, well, you're an artist. You've got to explore these.
And it's the way I express myself. Like other people would express themselves with writing poems, writing books, or making films. So yeah, there are different ways, but yeah, music is mine. So yeah.
Oh man, I've loved hearing about all of this, and I mean, I know we can chat for ages and stuff like that. And we'll definitely have you back again, and we can go a bit more of a deep dive into your career, and we can get some advice for other students that potentially want to go down the route that you've gone, and we can talk about that. But obviously, for this podcast, the first chat with you and everything has been a really nice intro. Thanks so much. I guess just to round it off, if you can have a think back and try and help myself and some potential students, and some also graduating One Degree students with some advice. So first of all, if some students are looking to get the help of a program like One Degree, what advice would you give them? And then maybe once they've finished One Degree and they're sort of looking for that next part of their journey, do you have any advice for those two separate groups?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So for the students, I would definitely say, if you have the opportunity to work with One Degree, I think you should do it. But again, it's up to you, where you want to go, what you want to do. I know it can be like scary, or you might not feel very comfortable doing that. but it's always rewarding, no matter what you do, no matter what you try. But if you don't try, it's going to be very hard for you to know that. And I think it's going to help you a lot in different ways, not just with what you want to do in life, but for yourself as well. And who knows, you might be able after to help others, and that is a big quality and an opportunity that I would recommend. I think you should try no matter what. If you don't try, then how are you gonna know?
Of course. And then what about students that are, they finish one degree and they're going to the next part of their life? What have you learned over the last 6, 7, 8, 9 years of your life, finishing one degree until now? What advice can you part on to some recent graduates?
Definitely, I think is I kept in contact with some of the students there, and hearing about what they're doing now, how far they've come. Like me, I'm still like, I want to do music 100%, but it's very hard. So I had to work in a restaurant. So, I know for a fact, that it's not because you're having your GCSE or whatever, that, you can't, do whatever you want to do. It just, sometimes it takes time. But I know that, for sure that, these people, are going to get somewhere, because I think one degree, once again, I'm sure, help them, to gain confidence, and to also being able to keep in touch, with these people. I think it's always nice, because you never know what, in life you can need maybe one day someone, with this or that, and you might have these contacts, that before. So I hope, everything goes well for them.
Oh, amazing. No, that's so helpful. Thanks so much, Elliot. It's been tremendous chatting to you. Thank you so much for taking the time, and we'll definitely do this again. Really been great. Good luck with everything, in the meantime. But we'll speak again next time. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much for having me. It was fun.
It's been great. To everyone watching, this has been episode 2 of the One Degree Alumni Podcast, and we've been speaking with myself, Roger, from One Degree, and Elliot, a One Degree alum from 2016-2017. So thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time. And Elliot, take care.
You too. Thank you very much.